I remember when you told me I'm the reason that you haven't felt lonely. Then I asked if I could kiss you, you said only if I'm asking if you spend the night.
This past June, the team and I were lucky enough to get our first paddock experience at the Formula 1 Grand Prix in Montreal, Canada. Being a Grand Prix in my home country, I was really looking forward to this weekend.
Tomorrow can't wait. Summer nights with you.
Led by Charles Leclerc on the medium side. He starts a race in Montreal on pole, and for the first time he sees the checkered flag and will know what it's like to win the Canadian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen comes home in first place.
What's up guys, it's Justin here and welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix, another episode in our Formula 1 film series. This is one that the team's really been looking forward to because it's not only in Canada, but it's also one of my favorite cities to visit, Montreal. I was last here in 2018 for the Formula E street race, which is still one of the most incredible experiences to date. I've also got some paddock access to this race, so I'm really excited because as someone who follows all the details of Formula 1, being able to see it in action and in person just makes it that much better. But of course, as we landed in Montreal, it was fun to be able to check out the city because everything is walking distance and wherever you go, there's something to see or eat. As with any race weekend, you can really feel the excitement and energy leading up to the race weekend, but especially in Montreal, they've been waiting for the race to come back since 2019. You can see everyone walking around with their favorite team uniforms, but before we head out to the crowded downtown and Crescent Street, it was time to grab some bagels at the famous Fairmont Bagels. The food throughout Montreal is already incredible, but the bagels in particular is something that they're very well known for, and having them fresh, dipped in cream cheese, and not toasted was a bit weird at first, but it was definitely one of the best bagels that I've had. All of the food that we had throughout this trip was great, and I've got to say it's probably one of the best cities in Canada, if not North America, when it comes to the food. After breakfast, it was time to head to the track, and as we drove by the bridge, you can see just the amount of people who are here for this event. I believe the attendance was over 300,000 throughout the weekend. This weekend had a bit of everything, especially when it came down to the weather. Qualifying day was absolutely pouring, but when it came to the race day, you could see the weather was perfect. The sun was shining, but it also wasn't too hot, which is definitely an issue that we encountered at the Miami Grand Prix earlier this year. To get to the paddock, there are some small boats that drive you along the lake that surround the track, and you can see all of the drivers' cars parked across the street. And as you pass the paddock, you can also see the grandstands in the distance that are wrapped around the corner of Turn 1. Before the race started, it was time to head to the paddock, and that is something that I've been waiting for many years as a Formula 1 fan. After watching Formula 1 on TV, the Drive to Survive series on Netflix, and seeing the behind-the-scenes aspect to it, as soon as it was time to go into the paddock, there was a ton of familiar faces. Aside from seeing the drivers walking around, another aspect that was super cool was just seeing how all of these teams operate. Everyone was just so passionate and organized. And the idea that some of these teams have over 1,000 employees doing everything to work on the two cars on the track is really inspiring. This entire experience was capped off from being able to watch qualifying from one of the team garages, which was crazy. It was like being a kid at a candy store, and some of you actually mentioned that you saw me walking around the paddock in some of the worldwide streams. So with any Formula 1 race weekend, we're running around all over the place, but it's really important to keep all the devices charged. And so I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, Anker, and their 7 Series GAN Prime chargers. The first model that I have right here is the Anker 735, and it features 3 ports in total. The 65 watts is able to charge most smartphones at their maximum speed, and you can even charge a tablet or a laptop, no problem. But if you want to step up the wattage, the next model is the 737, and that is able to deliver 120 watts of power. These chargers are also reduced in size by up to 53% thanks to Anker's self-developed mini transformer technology. The larger charger is the Anker 747, and once again is relatively portable given that it's able to supply up to 150 watts. The Active Shield 2.0 technology technology also enhances protection by intelligently monitoring temperature and adjusting power output to safeguard your connected devices, which is just as important as the speed that it's able to deliver. It monitors temperatures 3 million times per day. Having enough chargers and the right ones to bring around is one of the most important things in my gear pack when it comes to travel in general. So if you guys want to go ahead and check these for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below, and a huge thanks to Anchor once again for sponsoring this video. So the full experience of the race weekend is landing on Wednesday and leaving on Monday. So by the time Sunday rolls around, it's already been a crazy week. But after practice, qualifying, all of the evening events, it's time for the race to start.
Lights out and away we go, and Max Verstappen gets the better start from Fernando Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton away quickly too, and Hamilton already level with Carlos Sainz, but Sainz has the inside line. Alonso stays in second place, then Sainz, then comes Hamilton, Magnussen round the outside of him, Mick Schumacher under pressure already from Esteban Ocon.
So by the first few laps, there was already a few virtual safety cars and one engine failure by lap 10. And for much of the race, Carlos Sainz was trying to chase down Max Verstappen, who started at pole and actually got very close on a few instances right in front of us at turn 1.
Sergio Perez, he is out of the race. He's going to find a gap by the grandstand there that the marshals can push that Red Bull into. You see the replay. Tsunoda came into the pits, went straight on as he came out on cold tyres. Verstappen might have just taken the lead here, but Sainz should have less of a gap between himself and the Red Bull driver when we go racing once again.
Similar to Miami, towards the end of the race, there was a full safety car, which always makes things a bit exciting. But overall, it was a great race weekend, and being able to watch it from multiple angles is what makes it a lot of fun. The track is just so big, so staying in one place throughout the race is sometimes difficult to get a grasp of what is really going on.
For the first time, he starts a race in Montreal on pole, and for the first time, he sees the checkered flag and will know what it's like to win the Canadian Grand Prix.
At the end of the race, Verstappen ended up holding on to win the race. Carlos Sainz was closely second, and Hamilton landed on the podium at third with Russell in fourth. Leclerc also had a really strong showing, ending the race in fifth after starting pretty much from the back of the grid after an engine penalty. From the second the race was over, you could see all the fans pouring onto the track to be able to see the podium, and Damien happened to be right in the middle of that action. So being the second Formula 1 race I attended, there couldn't have been a better place than the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. As I mentioned, Quebec is easily one of my favorite places to visit. And compared to Miami, even though that was a great first race in the US, it was interesting to see the passion in Montreal because races have been taking place there for so many years now. What makes Formula 1 so exciting though is the fact that it travels around the world, and some of the races that I really want to attend one day include the Monaco Grand Prix, which is a classic and a beautiful place to film, as well as Singapore, which is on my list of places to visit, as well as Japan and hopefully the Middle East. We're really looking to expand the series around the world and continue to blend technology with sport and lifestyle, so make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below what you enjoy about it. But now let's hop into the F1 2022 game and do a lap on the Montreal circuit.